Hi, this is Heather and Eric from greeneggsandgoats.com, and today we're going to show you how to milk a cow. The first thing we do when we're going to milk the cow is to clean her teats really well. And since we don't have running water in the barn, we've tried a bunch of different things, including bringing buckets of water down here from the house and stuff like that. But the best thing we have found so far has been these adult washcloths. I buy them at Sam's in a very large box, and they're made for the geriatric community, I suppose, but they are large and they do a really good job of cleaning the dirt off of her teats before we get started. Now Eric's got the strip cup here. There's a lot of different ones in the market. We just use a little stainless steel pan that we had. Partially we used to use a coffee cup that was dark colored, but our cat was getting his head stuck in it, and he's the one that drinks the first sprays of milk anyway. And what we're doing here is just taking the first couple of squirts of milk off of each teat. If there's any bacteria in there, that would be the most likely place for it to be. But also you're checking for color and consistency. When he gets done, he's going to kind of roll that around just a little bit, and he's watching also, see how it's angled. He's watching to make sure that there was no odd color, no clumps or anything like that. And now Batman is a happy cat. Happy cat. So now the first couple of squirts have gone into the strip cup, Eric is going to begin milking. As you see, it's not like what you see in the cartoons. He's not pulling on her teats. That would make for a very angry cow. He is simply squeezing at the top. He's closing his thumb and forefinger to kind of pinch the top a little bit, and then squeezing the rest of his fingers. So it's really just a squeezing motion as opposed to a pulling motion. Anything that looks like pulling that you might see is really more aiming than pulling, because you do have to aim it towards your bucket, and your aim sometimes has to change as your cow moves around a little bit. So that might be what's mistaken for pulling a lot when people are watching you. And people will come over, and everyone wants to try to milk the cow if they're visiting, and you have to watch them really close, because even if you tell them not to pull, they really, really want to, because that's what they've seen on television and cartoons and everything all their life, and they really are pretty sure that that's how it's done. So anyway, we've got Beulah up here, and she's got her feed bucket, and she has her mixture of grain. She's right now on a 16% cattle feed, and then we mix in a little bit of all grain at each feeding, because when she has a little bit of grain in her diet, we find that the chickens will scratch through her cow pies, and they will keep our pasture really nice and clean, and you can barely even look at it and tell that we have a cow. If we take that out of her diet, as we tried a couple times, they just leave the cow pies completely alone, and then you have cattle bombs all over your pasture. So you'll see also that she's got a big thing of hay here, and usually she'll munch on that after she has finished eating the grain from her bucket. In her bucket also you'll see some alfalfa cubes, and those are really good. They're full of vitamins and stuff like that, and especially in the winter time when she's not getting as much green grass, they're a nice addition to her bowl. And she usually eats them last, but she does eat them, so that's what's going on there. And as you see, right now he's working on the two teats closest to him. Oh, no, he's not. I'm sorry, I couldn't see very well. He's working on like a diagonal teat. And he's just moving around. Sometimes you have to move around based on how the cow's standing and the ones that you can get to the easiest. And sometimes your hand gets sore and you move around. See, his hand's sore, so he's moving his right hand to the back to let his left hand rest for just a minute. And that's what you do. You just kind of work your way around. They have 4 teats, and you just do the best you can to get them all emptied with your milking. You see the spray going into the bucket. There you go. Nice long streams. They're good. And he's going to keep milking. The whole process will probably take about 10 to 12 minutes. Is that what we've been running, Eric?
I've been running about 15 because I don't do this as often as you do.
Okay, about 12 to 15 minutes. Also, sometimes she's got a calf on her, so sometimes we find that she's fuller than others. And some of that has to do with our consistency, but about 12 to 15 minutes. And I know you do not want to sit here and watch the whole 12 to 15 minutes, so we will take a break right now. Alright, so we have finished up milking Beulah for the day. We milked her out pretty well. We did not strip each teat because she does have a calf that she's about to go back to. So we're leaving just a little bit for the calf, and that shouldn't hurt things at all. So now Eric has a bottle of teat spray that we made up again because we don't have running water down here. We just keep a bottle made up. And Beulah doesn't mind it too much. It's just a mixture of water, grapefruit seed extract, and I've got an essential oil in there called Purify that's good for cleansing. So we just spray that on her, and again, she doesn't mind at all. The goats don't like it as much, but the cow could care less. So that just gets her teats nice and clean, but it's nothing that would be harmful to the baby when she puts her mouth on the teats in just a minute. So there you have it. We're just going to lead her back, and she'll have the rest of the day grazing in the pasture. For more great milking information, be sure to join us on the web at www.greeneggsandgoats.com.